Yo, 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 yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
There's no music. Remind me later. Start virtual camera. Go away. Made coffee. Dude. 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 Good morning. What's up, legend? What's up, Mr. Gonzalez? How are you? Good afternoon. Oh, just another beautiful Tuesday afternoon. My shit. My Apple Watch is really dead. Super dead.
Testing?
Ooh. You sound like you're at church.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh shit, I didn't get me anything to drink. I blame
How do
Alex.
you how'd you make your audio like that?
Say, huh?
How'd you make your audio like that?
Like what?
You sound like you're like at the church podium.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
I don't go to
And
church. I don't know.
it sounds like it's like I don't know how to describe sounds. Chilly
I
down
I
here in Houston. You,
I give you a good and bad option, and you got me on your speakers.
oh, try talking again.
Okay. Oh
Oh,
look, no echo.
perfect. It wasn't like an echo though. It was like the reverb was different.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't want to hear about Houston and chilly because I had to walk home or walk to work today at 2 degrees outside. And that
It was
wasn't even the
actually
wind
one.
chill. It was not. That's not even wind chill. That's actual degrees. So, yeah,
That
I
was the real
walked.
degreesels.
That was the real degrees holes. It's okay. I feel for you guys down there.
Yeah. They're not built for this shit, Alex. We are.
Yeah, we're built different.
We ain't the same.
And
So
I used to
so
be a
Alex,
roofer. Huh?
I told you all the secrets already today.
Oh, what
Did
secrets?
These guys kind of know the secrets. You know, that's what I love about you is the short memory.
No, it's just that the secrets just seem like normal everyday stuff to me. So they're not. They don't seem like secrets.
That's
'Cause I'm
because I don't
here.
have secrets from you. You got to know what's going on. You got to know
What's
what's
going
coming.
on? I don't even know.
Yes, you do. You know about this one thing that we're doing. You know this thing.
You're just gonna have to play the commercial.
This thing commercial.
Yeah. Don't they got a commercial on their page? We only got 8 people. We need more viewers.
Because we started early, we're still like, our people come in late. We still got 10 minutes before when we normally start.
Yeah, we can't spill the
But
beans yet.
oh, okay. Here, we'll just nobody knows. You guys didn't see anything.
Yeah, you don't know squat.
Legend says we're built for 110-degree humid weather down here.
Dude, I roof in that stuff, man. That's,
Yeah, they handle that shit way better than I do. I'm going to get something to drink. I'll be right back.
I'll meet you there. Oh. Surprise! Hey, what's up, Trace Hill? What's up, Metro? What's going on, everyone? So
Let's pretend this is like a radio show. And one of the hosts just got up to go and do whatever. And so what does the other host do? Any guesses? Or what's the other host supposed to do?
supposed to bring a camera and fucking show some pranks.
Or at least just cover the broadcast while the other one's gone. But what does he do? He's like, "Oh hell no, you're not going to get something to drink without me going to get something to drink." Screw those people watching.
It's only Legends, Gonzalez, Trace, and Metro. Oh, there's 2 Gonzaleses.
Good Lord. I don't even know. So, guys, there's been a lot going on. Have you guys noticed like business picking up just a smidge it in the last couple of weeks? It seems like the income tax money's starting to trickle. And I've been noticing it just a little bit. And that's good. So, we have lots going on, but lots to catch up. And it's like phone call after phone call after phone call. And we're just not getting the things done. But we hired somebody, and she seems to be doing all right. She likes to stay busy, so that's good. She gets a lot of those things we've been neglecting done for us. She's a full-time student, so she's a part-time employee. And
They are getting numbers on TurboTax estimates. Hell yeah, they are.
and some of them are starting to spend their money before they get it, which is cool. We know people like that. And
You got all the time, T-Town. Take your time. We're just bored, so we're doing stuff. It's like This is not normal because so see like since January started, things have been kind of picking up, and then like we had a really busy last week, and we had a really busy yesterday, and today it was just kind of dead.
They was
But
kind of boring.
oh, what happened? Like I thought I felt some traction like for a little bit now.
Well, it's still okay. I mean, so we packed up and sent off a pallet of tint kegs to 44 tools, so that was cool. And I don't know. Oh, so like I don't know how this happened, but I feel like growth is happening. We have sold 13 film handlers this month. I was telling Alex how I got a phone call from the supplier a couple of years ago congratulating me on selling 18 in a year. That means I only got 5 more to go this year. So, yeah.
Hashtag hashtag film handler grew on TikTok.
Right.
Or no, hashtag flat glass grew on TikTok is what I meant.
Black glass grew on. Okay, that makes more
Yeah.
sense.
I
Speaking of
think well,
TikTok,
you know what I think happened though, honestly, is I
I
think
don't.
so many people have became dependent on their income coming from automotive window film installations. And then, with the recession and like all the crap that's been happening in the last 2 years, people have learned to adapt and diversify their skills. And I think a lot of automotive tenders have opened up to doing flat glass, as a part of that diversification.
Yeah, still trying to catch up on communication. Speaking of, know how this works. So, does anybody know anything about um, anything about like Facebook marketing? Because I've discovered that I don't. If that makes sense. I currently, though, have an ad in review. I don't know how long that takes either. But we're going to see. We're going to see if we can't put Sun Distributing in front of a few more faces. And we're going to see if we can't get this thing growing up a little bit. Because, I was talking to some people, actually other suppliers too. And I don't want my ego to get big. I don't want my head to swell up, but they're telling me that we are absolutely killing it with customer service and growth. And you know I don't know, it's the craziest thing. Teton says he tinted a back glass and a windshield on a 70 Chevelle. Glass was out of the car, so not too bad. The back glass curves the opposite way. Yep. Avery ad was all over my Facebook, so it was showing hard. Yeah, and that was a little bit different. That was just basically people who like my page and people like them. But what I want to get into is how when you go and look at something and all of a sudden Facebook starts showing you things like that from all different sources.
Like the old wish.com ads.
Okay, I didn't do the wish.com thing either because, I'm old. So, but yeah, that's what I want to do is, have a carousel come down. One thing that I really enjoy doing is when I go look at something and like I'm in a Jeep part. So I'll go look at an axle or, you know, some coilovers or something. And next thing I know, it's like I get to see everybody's coilovers and things relating to suspension. And I'll just sit there and scroll through their little carousel of products. And every now and again, I click on one to see, oh, what's this? What's this all about? And I just feel like if it works on me, maybe it'll work on other people like me. I don't know. Just trying to sell products because apparently that's how we pay our bills over here. We like to think that we pay our bills by just having a good time talking to people and helping out, but the reality is we gotta funnel in some sales in there too. So we're trying to push that up. And what's up, John? He said, "What's up, Tuesday gang?" What a day. So, yeah, so I really wanted to share with you guys, and today's goal was to get Computer Cut up on the website. But I'll go ahead and tell you guys about it anyways because it's pretty freaking amazing. So apparently, lots of people really appreciate what I'm doing, and SolarGuard is no different. And SolarGuard decided that they're going to go ahead and let me. Okay, they appreciate what Alex is doing. I see what you did there, Alex.
Show my shirt.
Yeah. So SolarGuard's going to let us go ahead and start selling their flat glass film, which is cool. But we've already sold plenty of flat glass films, so that's not as exciting for us. But one thing that I've always wanted to do a plotter software for people, and I wanted to give them something that they could be amazed with. And right now, everyone's either rebranding film and vinyl designs or they're rebranding DigiCut, and there's nothing special about anybody's software that they're handling. Well, it's not a secret that my all-time favorite software is Computer Cut, which is from SolarGuard. And the only hang up I have with Computer Cut is that it's $130 if you use SolarGuard film. But what if you don't want to use SolarGuard film? Well, then it's $260. They doubled the price. And they don't say that they doubled the price on you. They say that if you use their film, you get half off. So they say that their price is actually $260. But what if I'm allowed to sell you guys subscriptions for say $150 or $160 a month? And you don't have to use anybody's special, it's all inclusive. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that's more expensive than film and vinyl design, and that's more expensive than DigiCut for sure. But once you get your hands on it and you start using it, you'll understand. It's user friendly. It's even got for the guys that want to cut some flat glass windows, it's got this flat glass planner that you punch in all your dimensions in it and hit go, and it takes the film size that you told it you're using and it arranges it in the most best possible way. And it's I don't know, it's pretty interesting. Now, I'm not big on cutting flat glass film with the plotter. I use a film handler for that. Did I mention I've sold 13? Okay, Alex probably is more responsible for it. What's really cool is these vendors will call and I look at the phone and I know it's one of the vendors and I pick it up real quick because I'm just sure they want to talk to me. And then they're like, "Is Alex available?" I'm like, damn.
It's
Yeah, can I tell
probably
him who's
Jesse.
calling? I don't know. I didn't ask for names. I should probably get better at that.
I know SolarGuard's entire call center now.
Alex is in the in with all of them. But Saint Gobain, SolarGuard, Computer Cut, Film Handler, they're all just, it's a pretty awesome group of people. Their flat glass film is, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's better than Avery's, but I certainly wouldn't say Avery's is better than theirs. I do know that SolarGuard's been around a lot longer, and they've got a lot bigger reach and they sell a lot more film. And there's probably a reason for all of that. And I get to carry it. So that's super cool. And they ship out of just about every freaking corner of the country and in a few other countries. So the neat thing is, for most of it, we're going to let them ship it out. And again, just like saving you guys money on the film handlers, I'm going to be saving you money on the film too, without having to switch over and buy direct from them. But I will be very, well, as you notice, I'm very price competitive with whoever the source is for whatever I'm selling. Because I just feel like if it's being sold for this price, everyone should sell it for this price. And if that price isn't high enough, then everybody should raise their prices. Which is why I suggest that you guys, Helios will beat them all. Now in automotive, I'll tell you, Helios will beat them all, hands down. You know, I go out and handpick the best manufacturers with the best film lines in that category. And except for that particular company, but you guys don't want to go to 2 or 3 different companies for your lineup of film, do you? You want to go to one company. And a lot of times it's like you carry this brand and you're like, yeah, well, I really like this one and that's why I carry this brand, but I got to carry this one too, and it's not my favorite. And you know, so that's where Helios comes in. I go out and get your favorite out of all of them. What's up, Chamal?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
But let's see. Cobain Performance Plastics Corporation. Huh. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh,
But
Jamal,
apparently it is.
we just announced that we're gonna be computer cut distributors,
Yeah.
licensors. Yeah, you can come through us for computer cut plotter license.
Yeah.
Big moves.
And new tools. Alex, do we have new tools? I feel like I don't know, we got so much new shit happening and I can't keep track of it.
We
And I
got a
feel
new
like there's,
style of 5-way. We got 5-way grays on top of the 5-way blacks.
or
Yeah, dude.
somebody just accidentally ordered the grays. I'm not sure what happened there.
And then we got we still have matte tape. Matte tape.
Oh yeah, matte tape. Did
I
you
forgot. We
did
did
you
it
want to
last
show
week.
did you want to show them how it rips again? Alex
I feel
loves
like
this
we
stuff.
no mom is. God damn. Ah, yeah, look, it's just right here. Perfect. Clean cut. Look how clean that is.
And it's conformable and it sticks. You
You
know,
know
it's
what?
like
Hold on. I'm gonna grab the gray.
he's gonna grab the gray. I think he's talking about the gray 5-way. So the difference between the black and gray, I didn't really see one. I think it's color. I mean, it's a 5-way, it's a guide tool. And I don't really see a difference. We carried the black because that's just what we always carried, but then we mistakenly ordered the gray.
Yeah, I don't
And,
know what the difference is. I think it's honestly just color. There's like a slight shape difference. I think it's just manufacturer and the mold that they use to like create it.
and honestly, though, one thing that I did notice about the gray to the black is the gray seems to be like a better looking finish. The
It's
black
sharp.
looks cheap.
I feel like I could cut myself if I really rubbed my fingers along this good enough.
Alex, do you know what that tool's for?
Yes, for drywall, it's spreader and smoother
No,
for
I'm not in the
finishing.
window tint. in the window tint business?
Cutting edges on flat glass.
Yeah, it's like a guide.
You know what I also use it for, or I like to use it for?
What?
Shifty windows. And you gotta like, you don't get that like little bit of cut, or you miss a cut, and you could just use this to like as a straight edge on the peel board. I seen Dean Mitchell do it, and I was like, that's fucking slick. So I started doing it.
Brian, that's a good question. I see what Brian's question is now. He's wondering if that's for tint and PPF patterns. And that's a fine question. I have to find out. I need more details now. I want to feel like it's for all the above, but I'm not going to promise anything, but I will push for it. Because you guys know.
Yeah, I think it is because I'm reading that SolarGuard sells Clear Shield PPF.
Yeah.
And within their Clear Shield PPF kit, it comes with the plotter, computer cut database program, and free software updates.
Oh yeah, and computer cut is month to month.
Dude, I'm excited.
Me too. And also, we will probably be selling plotters. That's exciting. Unfortunately, I can't really get any answers right now on pricing. For whether, what it, I don't seem to have any magical button. I was just so excited that he was selling it. I didn't even think about, the price, but basically and I guess I can ask you guys, what do you think? Do I sell it for 150 and only make a little bit of money, or do I sell it for 160 and make a little bit more money? But it's still way better than, even at 160, it's $100 off their price if you're not a computer cut user. I mean, if you're not a SolarGuard user, and if you are a SolarGuard user, then you're probably buying your computer cut from them, and this conversation's not for you.
Matt, what is up, dude? I appreciate that post you made earlier. That was badass. Hell yeah. Congrats on winning that keg too, by the way.
Yeah, no shit. I saw your name pop up as the winner. I was like, no shit. I hope you like it. We give away so many kegs this year. And we're going back up with WFR next year. And I told Rick flat out, I'm like, you ain't buying another 60 kegs this year to give away, because that was just too much. I feel like most everyone got numb to a weekly keg giveaway. Some weeks it was 2 kegs, and it was just, it's kind of like, I don't know, I can't think of a good analogy for it that's actually clean enough for TV. But let's just say it's too much. So they will still this year be giving away. Well, I think we got 3 or 4 more kegs to give away.
Yeah.
For 2022's giveaways, and then there's going to be 7 more guaranteed. There may be more than that, but I'm trying to talk them into giving away. Check this out. And this is just me pushing for it. There is no decisions been made. This is not a promise, but I mean, I can promise you, I'm fighting for you guys. But I want to see them give away a film handler and a plotter and some big items that you know. Tin keg's a nice big item, but I mean, if all of a sudden, this month your drawing or your contest or whatever is for a plotter, I mean, and there's no entry fees, it's all free. It's all free to play. I mean, wouldn't you like bang on some drums for a fucking plotter? I would. Or a film handler? I would. He's wanting to give away some Jiffy steamers too. That's one thing. One thing a lot of people are out there, you run and buy a $50 steamer and sure it works and it does the job and it'll last you a couple of years. And for those of you guys that have never had your hands on a Jiffy steamer, it's hard to wrap your head around what you're missing because you don't know until you know, and then you know. You know?
I've, you know what I have gone back to spray bottle for? Spraying the back windshield for soap prep or for dry shrink prep. Charles showed me that and I loved it because all the extra water and soap water just doesn't like run off on the edges of the car. Like you just psst, psst.
Well, and here's the thing too. I see Charles when he sprays windows, he sprays like this. What the fuck are you doing? Try mowing your lawn like that, and tell me how that works out. How do you mow your lawn? One fucking pass at a time. And so you know how much water's coming out of your sprayer when you squeeze the trigger. And if it's too much water, move your hand a little faster. But don't go like this because what are you doing? I mean, this isn't, Saturday morning after the wife went to work, you're by yourself and you put on those special videos. This is not time for that. Everything you do should be deliberate. The reason that people go back to spray bottles is because they don't have to control the spray bottle because the spray bottle slows them down enough that it's not an issue any longer. It's like saying, have you ever went back to training wheels on a single speed bike because you just couldn't get the hang of a mountain bike? No, you get the hang of the mountain bike. You just,
That's
I
actually
don't know.
good. That's I mean
I don't know. I get frustrated because I am a man who adapts. I don't, I hear people say, well, I don't like that film. It doesn't shrink right. The film shrinks just fine. It just shrinks different than what you're used to. You have to take whatever it is you're using and adapt to what it is. Some people don't like a chainsaw because it cuts too fast. So they rather get the handsaw out. I mean, really? I don't like an impact because I could break a bolt. Yeah, I get the fucking job done quicker too, and I can learn how to not break bolts. I don't need a ratchet if I can fit an impact in there. It's just the way it is. So many things in life, if you think about it. I mean, every one of you guys would like to have an 800 horsepower fucking car, right? That'd be super cool. But ain't none of you going to take that and put your foot to the floor and say, you know what, I think I'm going to go back to a 4-cylinder because this thing's too fast for me. You're going to lift your fucking foot up and learn to control it. It's just so. That's just my take on it. And I'm sorry if I get excited. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I mean, if you can't get the hang of it, you can't get the hang of it. But you got to understand that the speed, that's like I hear people all the time telling me, I can't shrink with a torch. I don't know how people shrink with a torch. It's too hard on the film. Too hard on the film. Let me ask you this. Can you burn a hole in film with a heat gun? Yes, you can. Do you? Well, you certainly try not to, right? Well, I can burn a hole in the film with a torch, but guess what? If I pull the torch back a little bit and move it a little different, I don't burn holes in it and I shrink way faster. So it's all relative. It's just the question is when you get that new sense of power in your hand, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to treat it like the old? You know, if you try to use a tint keg like a spray bottle, you're going to hate it because you could have some people use 50 psi, some people use 100 psi, but whatever it is, you've got a constant string. There is no, trigger action. It's just squeeze and it goes until you unsqueeze. I also see a lot of people with the keg, they'll go psh, 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 like, and I don't know if you can even hear the psh, psh, because I don't know, you got that noise canceller thing on, but I'm just telling you that it's a whole different tool. And so you use it different. I see people, they'll pay a couple $100 for a fusion heat gun and they're like, I don't like it. I like my Wagner better. Well, that's because you're trying to use the fusion heat gun like your Wagner, and it's not like your Wagner.
Yeah.
Gets a lot hotter, it blows a lot more air. And so if you don't adapt, then you're going to like what you're used to.
It's funny because Charles had me shrink all the back windows. Well, he's been letting me shrink all the back windows lately, and I got really used to the fusion heat gun, and then we tag teamed a windshield together to end our day. And of course, he takes the fusion heat gun and he gives me like a duct tape together like Milwaukee.
Oh Jesus. The Milwaukee's a good heat gun, and we're not talking about the newfangled Milwaukee that they sell now. No, that would be an old Milwaukee over there.
He's got his whole side done, and I'm still waiting for the film to react. Like,
Or he's got that Porter cable over there, which I used to think the Porter cable was a great heat gun, but use a fusion heat gun for a while and then try to switch back to the Porter cable. It's like, no.
yeah.
And what's funny is people are like, I don't like the fusion heat gun. It's too heavy. It wears my arm out. If I can, if it doesn't weigh twice as much as a Wagner, but I can get a window shrunk twice as fast as with a Wagner. So I think it's actually, for the time I'm holding it, it's lighter, but I'd still prefer a torch that weighs more than twice as much as any of them.
I like the torch because the flame goes away as soon as you let go of the button.
Yeah, but if you're not careful, when you let go of the button, it's still too late. So, there's that.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Don't run off screen, Alex.
I was talking about cleaning the tank and clean the spray bottles and mixing the soap. Many people don't know about that and struggle with mixing the soap. Hello, will the tank hose setup be available again anytime soon? I didn't realize that they were out. Um, uh-oh. Oh shit. Let me check for you, Mr. Park. Out of stock. Yeah, let me check. Email low stock notification. Oh, okay. I figured it out. Let me go to products, attribute stack. All right, give it a try now.
What a try. What are we doing?
The brass hose swivels were out of stock for some reason. So I think I think it has two settings, maybe.
No, I
Like if you
think when
type
they
in,
come in, I think when they came in, it didn't get added. But we had
or
so
maybe
many of them, it didn't matter.
I think I did. I feel like I did add them though, but maybe I just didn't like hit OK or something.
That's possible. I wish this stuff would just auto save. Auto save is
But
a real thing these days. You fixed it.
but
Now we can. You did it just
yeah,
so you wouldn't have to sell any more kegs.
no, I love selling kegs. I mean, it was still pulling them. We had -8.
That's because of the 44 tools order. Because I run that through on phone
Oh,
orders. Phone orders will allow me to sell stuff that's out of stock, and it just
yeah.
runs them
Okay.
negative.
10 keg inline filter. We got okay. We gotta do this.
And that
I gotta go back.
was 9 for 13 swivels on that order. So -8, you were almost out, and you just refilled the bins. So yeah, that tells me that last batch that came in just didn't get entered.
How many inline filters do you think we have ish? We got a
A
ton.
bunch, a couple hundred maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think what I'm gonna do tomorrow is
Inventory.
yeah, well, I'm gonna teach Ayana how we handle low stack inventory, and then I feel like that's a good practice to learning like all the different tools and stuff. So
Yeah,
I think it'll be good.
I like it.
Also, do you recommend mixing daily in keg? Seems to lose its mix.
Yes,
I
some soaps will last longer than others mixed up, but honestly, if you fill up what you need today and do that every day, one, you're naturally going to want to rinse your keg out a little bit every time you fill it up. You're not going to just want to just dump soap in it. So try, depending on if you're doing 3 cars a day, put about a gallon, gallon and a half of water in it and mix it, and dump it, rinse it, mix it every morning. And then your soap will always be consistent. And make sure you use your measuring cup. So that's kind of a big, unless you're not measuring the amount of water that you put in. I mean, if you're just filling it up, but if you can have a consistent line that you fill it to every day, and then you can find your consistent measurement, because that's another thing that people run into. And when the temperature changes, your mix needs to change a little bit. Like right now, you guys are going through a cold spell, right? So it's going to tend to be a little slipperier than normal. But another thing that people struggle, and I struggled with when I went from, I didn't go to a keg from a spray bottle. I went to a, a 3 gallon pump sprayer. But when I went from a poly to a 3 gallon pump sprayer, it just blew my mind how much soap I had to put in it. And it wasn't that I had to put so much soap in it. I was putting 3 gallons, almost 3 gallons of water in it versus two um, 2 pints, or yeah, I think the poly sprayers are like 2 pints. And so you use a lot less soap. And it's hard to get your mind to adjust to the idea that um, it's really that much more water. But one thing that you can do to help your mind get over that hurdle is to take what you normally use and fill it up and pour it in, fill it up, pour it in, fill it up, pour it in. And you'll get an idea just how many of those spray bottles are in that keg. And that'll help you to add more soap because it's not uncommon for someone with a 5 gallon keg to put 3.5, 4 gallons of water in it and 6 ounces of soap. But 6 ounces of soap is like one of my measuring cups and a half full of soap. And it seems like a lot. But when you factor it into the difference between a spray bottle and that and the volume, you'll realize it's not really any more than you ever used. And it might actually still be less than you ever used. We go through a lot of soap with spray bottles.
I don't know. I don't like a lot of soap. I feel
Charles
like it's
uses way
just
too much soap.
he's been getting better, a little bit better. And I think after that one day you came and showed him how to like fingertip film on the back glass, he's been a lot better about it.
Yeah. That's another thing. When you move film around, so many people will palm the window and use their whole hand to move the film around. The problem is two things. One, you got heat in your hand, and two, you got pressure on a large surface. And between the two, a lot of times you'll tack up where you're pushing. But if you just use your fingertips, just the tips of your fingers, and you move it around like that with your hands kind of like this, then you're less likely, your fingertips don't have near as much heat as the palm of your hand, and you're not pressing on such a large surface, and it tends to be a lot easier to move the film around. And the other thing is too, like when I was talking about spraying the window like this, when you spray it like that, there's no consistency. And even though the water's dripping on your pattern, doesn't necessarily mean the entire pattern's wet. You might have little dry spots in between the drips. And if that be the case, or if you do that psh, psh, psh kind of thing with the sprayer, that's again inconsistency. You want to make a full pass across your pattern. You want to sweep it and make sure every bit of it gets wet going across. And you can actually get a pattern wetter with no drips. And a lot of people are like, well, it's wet. Look at how much it's dripping. But the thing is, again, if you have dry spots in between your drips, that was another thing when I went over to help Charles out, was I pointed out to him after he sprayed a pattern and he went to pick it up. I'm like, you got dry spots. He's like, no, I don't. And he's the one that was like, but look at how much water's coming off of this thing. And that's nice, but you didn't get the entire pattern wet. You're relying on water transfer either from the window to the pattern or from this part of the pattern to the dry part of the pattern. And when you start relying on that, especially if you got a little more aggressive film, it's going to bite you in the ass. Jaybird had the drip one time. Jaybird, it's a family show.
Man, this coffee's like not doing it.
No? Why?
Not
Oh,
working.
I guess Tim had the drip one time too.
Oh, jeez. Can't relate. Sorry, guys.
Never had the drip.
Ooh, excited to use my keg this weekend or this week.
Yeah? What you doing?
Yeah, wow. Ooh,
What?
what?
What are you doing?
Looking on the website.
You said you get to
real
use your
quick.
keg this week.
Yeah, that's Dustin Manuel.
Yeah.
He said that in the chat. I'm
Oh, I
excited
didn't
for
look
you,
at the
man.
chat. I was thinking you finally got a side gig again.
Me? Hell
Yeah,
no.
you.
I'm just over here mailing iPads now. I just made a brave bid. A
Uh-oh.
very
What did you
brave
buy?
bid.
You guys see Alex selling iPads with new screens on them for $30?
Yeah, I gotta send one to Dusty Ratliff as soon as we get his other stuff in. Um Here, I'll show you. Assorted lot of 12 iPads and iPhones and Apple Watch and AirPods. And
Nice.
it's got um two fourth gen minis, a seventh gen, a fourth gen pro or third gen pro. These are all like iPads that are not broken, not locked, perfect condition. Um, there's nothing wrong with any of them. Um, some of these go for like 200, 300, 500. There's a lot of seven of them, and the current bid is at $800. I made a max bid of $1,000. So I don't know. We'll see. And then I just bought what else did I just buy? I bought 53 first gen AirPods. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
here
making
in
moves.
a here in a week or so, if anybody needs any AirPods on the hookup, Alex
Do
got
it.
you.
AirPod giveaway at next Tuesday's Tool Talk. Place a film order up to $200. Get a free pair of AirPods. Oh, and
So
well, another thing that we're doing is so every time I buy a screen repair kit, they come with these little teeny screwdrivers. I'm gonna start including them in Fusion Quarter Pro squeegee sets, so you have something to unscrew your blades.
yeah, because they be some tiny screws. Jeremy Davis's Android. I'm with you, brother.
Do you want to? I got a pretty much damn near new year old Android tablet. It's the Galaxy A8. I used it like twice. I thought I was gonna be productive with it and shit, and just never used it.
You know, all these damn tablets that he's been playing with, he's never offered me one. What do you guys think? Should I fire him? I just don't feel it's fair. What if I want a tablet? You know, I already got the biggest phone they make and I still can't see the son of a bitch, so maybe I do need a tablet.
Well, I got
Oh,
I got plenty you can have for free, but they're old. You can just only go to wwebsites. That's it.
is that the
I didn't
$30
realize.
ones?
No, they're not even $30. I paid $3 a piece for them. I
So how
bought
much you?
I bought 30. I bought 10 of them for $30.
Ryan Feltz is like, so someone only gets one talking about the AirPods
Oh yeah,
because you got 53 of them.
yeah. I got 53 of them.
Well, and the question is, how many rights and how many lefts do you got? Because that makes a difference, doesn't it?
I think it's. I think it's. I don't remember. I think it's like 24 lefts and 25 rights.
It's
No,
49.
yeah, 20. No, 25 and 26.
25 and
And and there's
27.
no guarantee they all work either. But it's a risk I'm willing to take because I'm getting 24 pairs for $200, but working pairs go for like 50-ish dollars.
So if you
So
get
as long
four
as
working pairs out of it, you can break even.
yes,
Okay.
they're untested. They didn't take the time to see if they worked or not. But they look decent from like what I seen. And it was the same people that I got the 10 iPads from where they were like, we don't know the condition of these. They work or they don't work. And then they all ended up working. So I was like, well, it worked out last time. So
Double
and
down.
if it doesn't work out, then I'll just make that same sale page on eBay. 53 AirPods.
and then and then you'll find out you was the only sucker in the planet that was going to jump on that deal.
No, I'm actually. I don't. There's four bidders on it, so I'm one of four suckers.
Okay. I see what you
So I'm not the only one.
kind of like. Did you guys see what Jeff Welch did with Tint Hozilla? That was kind of classic. I mean, it wasn't really classic, but it was clever. I liked it. Anybody?
No, I'm going to look right now.
So his their donation to Tinners for a Cause for the raffle at the Tinner Battles went for $1,600. But there was somebody in there that said he didn't get a chance, but he wanted to run it up to $2,000, and he didn't get to bid on it, and so it sold for 1,600. So he just happened to produce another one and said, "Here you go for a $2,000 donation to Tinners for a Cause," and announced it. I assume he discussed it with the guy prior to um, that, and then I guess he put up another one, a third one for auction. So that's pretty cool. I got a second one of mine sitting here that I want to put up for auction, but I'm trying to get Carrie to do a really cool thing. Um, yeah, I think it was Dave. It was either Dave or Burns from GeoShield. But I don't remember, so I wasn't going
Oh,
to
it
say a
was
name
Dave
because,
Kratz.
yeah, we don't use
Autobahn.
punctuations, so I'm not
Autobahn
sure.
strikes again.
I'm not sure if he's saying it was Dave Kratz or was it Dave Kratz because he just said Dave Kratz.
Dave Kratz.
Dave Kratz, the one, the only, David.
Autobahn.
What's up, Rick? I'm telling all your secrets that you don't even have yet. That's what's up. Oh, it was.
Rick
Okay.
Tallman, what is up, dude?
Holy shit, you raised your voice and yelled and you didn't even crackle. Your audio's doing good today.
I know. I took the time to set it up. I've actually
Did
huh?
did you?
No.
I was
Absolutely
gonna
not.
say you were trying to put your face up here without even having your face on camera yet.
uh,
Rick said,
well,
"Wait, what? Huh?"
so the computer got restarted somehow on its own, and like it was just like a 1 in a million chance where the audio worked right off the bat, but OBS was still not opened up.
Well, it usually does work right on reboot.
Nah, not hell no, it doesn't. Not for me. I gotta reopen NVIDIA voice mod, voice
I don't know.
meter.
I set all that shit to open on restart on Windows Startup. You just leave it for whatever Brittany had it set to, and you're like, I'll learn how to do it this way. Me, I'm like, I don't want to learn how to do it. If it just does it itself and it's quicker to reboot, then I'm down. Who dat? Jason Moran. We need to start answering phone calls on the stream. Bring in some live callers. That would be cool. So I'm looking for a marketing agent. And I think I got one, but he hasn't started taking the right classes yet. I like to get him fresh out of school. It worked out well with Carrie, didn't it? You know, she was still into school and doing it. Me and Jamal was trying to go live at the same time, but he didn't know how he could use his setup on his head in OBS. He didn't want to do Restream. Restream's got a couple of options. You can, whoops, wrong button. You can do an extra camera. And you can do an RTMP source. So he could do his GoPro to RTMP right straight to Restream if he wished to. And it would supposedly just work. So there's options there. As far as the extra camera, that's new, and I've never been able to get it to work. Yeah. Able to access, make sure it's properly connected, not used by another application. Yeah, it's not used by another application. This stuff just never works. That I'm definitely not using. I should, one of these days, I should just reach out to them and have them gurus fix it. But yeah, that just doesn't work. RTMP source, I just don't know how to personally use that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, Tallman, I was telling them that I ain't making no promises, and this by far isn't a promise by the group. But I told them that I was trying to talk you into doing a plotter and a film handler this year for giveaways, and I told them all they can do is stay tuned because we don't know until you know. But I try to share all the juicy gossip that I can, even if it's just gossip at the time. Sometimes I like to share the news, but sometimes there's just not news. And I don't want to talk about all those other things you got going on in the background because, like, that's a whole waiting game on other people. And if other people fail, then. But I figured the plotter and the film handler are going to be something that you'll be able to pretty much hands on yourself, not so much reliant on other people. It's just figuring out a way to make it work. A film handler, definitely. Oh, so he might even do more than one film handler. So we might have confirmation there. That kind of looks like it. That's exciting. That's super exciting. Alex is over there just all chit-chatting it up, chewing his gum. That's got to sound good over the phone, doesn't it? What do you think? I don't know. I don't chew gum so much, so I don't know. Thank you, James. We like you. Jaybird. Are you getting out? Because I know Alex is going to be getting out in about 12 minutes. Let's see. Review. The last ad I ran, it took them 2 days to do it. So we'll see. We will see. Alex is running away doing something. He must have just took an order. That happens sometimes. I've seen it happen. Getting up and running away. You know what? We're just going to take his screen out of the picture for a minute, make me a little bit bigger. And it looks like he sold small order. It should be fine. Oh, yep. Replacement bowl and a sprayer handle. Cool beans. But can you believe that? 13 film handlers in 1 month? That just blew my mind. How do I feel about partners? What kind of partners? Yeah, for sure. Get ready for income tax. Income tax is coming. And I think it's going to be a good income tax season. Based on my numbers, the neat thing about, you guys might not notice it because individually it might just be a little increase. You might notice the phone ringing a little bit more, but um, my reliance on income relies on a bunch of shops. So when it drops fast for me, and when it climbs not quite as fast as it drops, but relatively fast. Definitely more noticeable for me. I can look at the numbers each week and it makes a difference. But all these film handlers are making my numbers look deceiving too. Business partners, or would a sole ownership be better? So the problem with a partnership is you got to understand that you're going to want to run your business a certain way, and your partner's going to want to run their business a certain way. And where on the surface it seems like you guys got the same goal, once you get into it and all the little side shit starts slapping you in the face, you guys are each going to want to handle things a little bit different, and it's really, really tough. I see so many partnerships fail just because they're not deeply on the same page. On the surface, they're on the same page. And a lot of business partnerships are blossomed from the need for each other rather than the desire for each other, if that makes sense. And so I think that's why a lot of them fail. If you could do a sole proprietorship or sole ownership with an investor, I think is 100 times better, and make sure that your promise to the investor on return is good for both of you. A lot of people are desperate to get going, and a lot of it is they just need the income and they promise a 20% return or something like that. And that's just unreasonable. And you'll find out in the end that when you continue to have to pay out this 20%, but if you're going to do a partnership, somebody's got to be the majority and the other one has to be the minority. then a lot of times the majority partner will end up buying out the minority partner. If you're equal partners, a lot of times the business just gets dissolved and you go your separate ways. Partnerships also rely on trust, which a lot of tinners don't like to trust other people. So that's its own challenge because you don't know exactly what your partner's doing when you're not around, and he doesn't know what you're doing when you're not around. And you both have to be able to trust each other to do what's in the best interest of the business. So there's that. And look, Alex looks like Alex unplugged his headphones. He's all confused.
I had to find it.
He's like, I can't hear nothing. My freaking microphone's muted.
Yeah, I'm just here for like 5 more minutes.
Just like 5, 6 more minutes.
Yeah. Gotta let baby girl know I gotta wait. You gotta wait, girl.
You just gotta understand. We got business to do.
Got some business to do. Business partners or would a sole ownership be better? Partners? Which partner? Which Rick? Who are we talking about? You know, I got to learn how to make an NDA and an NCA. It's freaking gorgeous.
Yeah?
Yeah. Want to see it? Your files.
Yeah.
Your libraries. Gotta find it.
Yeah.
Chrome. I gotta log in.
That's gotta go.
Who does?
He's got a customer on the way to pick up a truck. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Matt. I might end up scooting early on y'all anyway. I still got some things that I got to work out. And I got so many things scrambling around in my head, I can't grab one thought and run with it. It just ain't working for me. What'd you do,
yeah.
Alex? You had an order, didn't you?
I did. Somebody froze their keg in Pennsylvania and shattered their inline filter and their plastic sprayer. So I said, it's okay. Rick pays for it all. You can have it for free. Hold on. Share screen.
I actually do
Window.
that sometimes.
Can you see it? Can you hear me?
Hear you.
Hello? Oh, you can't hear
Hello?
me. Oh, there we go. Look at this.
Is this your homework?
Oh, wait. I don't want to do that. I want to put it here. Does this make it bigger? Yeah, look. So that's my logo. It's my company name. And then this is, look, I had to format all of this. So is this big enough? Can you actually see the text and stuff?
No.
Oh, you can't. Maybe if I go like this.
Oh, now you're thinking.
Okay, wait. So all I got to do is just whoever I'm doing business with. This is like outsourced though. Like, so say if like I'm too busy and I want Iron Duck to like take my overflow, like I would like change this to Iron Duck. And I would change this to Iron Duck. And then I would do all the stuff. And this is like all the stuff. And
You know
yeah,
what?
it's just
You know what
all legal mumbo jumbo. Huh?
you know what I think I would do different on there? For everything that you have to change for a new one, I
Hmm.
would I would probably highlight it. Who's calling me? Spam risk.
Oh, look at that logo. Is that a good logo or not?
That's a good
I don't
logo. It's
know.
clean.
I didn't I didn't like it at first, but I got compliments from it at school yesterday, and they're like, "Wow, that's a really nice logo. Where'd you
It's
get that?" And I
clean.
was like I made it.
I'm not sure what you. Oh, that's a D and a C, huh?
Yeah, D and a C,
Okay. Yeah.
and the C
So
cuts
that
through the
works.
D.
Kinda. Or does it?
Maybe I
Make
just
it
make
bigger.
this.
Make it bigger. Huh.
What do you guys think? Chat room. Is my logo cool? What is a good film to use on a house that has an in-ground pool? The windows are on second level with a 6 to 7 foot wide deck from the house. Ooh,
So what are you
that's
trying to
technical.
achieve? Are you looking for heat reduction? Are you looking for privacy? Are you looking for both?
All right, I'll see you guys later.
All right, we'll see you. Because personally, you could, I mean, you could do the dual reflective stuff from Helios, the Eclipse. You could also do a ceramic. I mean, it really is going to boil down to what you're trying to achieve. And if you're only doing the second floor, so do you want it kind of aesthetically the same? Mostly heat with some light rejection. I tenanted his buddy's house 15 DR Global, but I think that's too dark. Yeah, 15 is starting to get on the dark side. Yeah, 35 DR I would probably say is good because in the daytime it's still going to get you privacy. It's going to get you decent glare rejection and heat rejection, of course. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And it'll look similar to the lower level, so you won't necessarily have to worry about it. The lower level, not sure what his house is like, but if you got windows on the other side of the house that you can see through, they're not offering a ton of privacy in the daytime because those windows backlighting it where the upstairs windows are going to naturally look darker because from the ground you're looking up at the ceiling, so there is no cross windows to look through, if that makes sense. So yeah, just depending on what they want. Anything below, does Helios offer residential? Yeah, we have a DR um 35. We call it Eclipse, and it should look pretty damn close to the global. I'm not going to tell you why, but if you're good at hints, you probably figure it out for yourself. But yeah, I definitely think that that's a good that's a good compromise. Anything below 20% is just, I mean, even 20%, 20%'s got good visibility. It tends to make the fair weather clouds look a little ominous. And that's the only thing I don't like about the 20. I personally like a 25 or lighter just because unless you're really, adamant about the privacy, then a 15 but everything that I know about films is there's going to be a give and take. There's going to be for everything you want to add to it, you've got to subtract somewhere. There's never you can't have everything. You can't have full privacy without losing some visibility. You can't have 100% heat rejection without losing some clarity. There's always that balancing point that you gotta decide what you want to give up. 35, you're going to give up a little of the privacy, but on the second level, it's not bad at all because you can't look direct through the window unless you get way back from the house, and then you're far enough back, it doesn't matter if you can see movement because you can't see details. Ground level, you tend to sacrifice a little bit more and go a little bit darker if you're looking for privacy because they can look direct straight on with the window, which, that's going to be the easiest way to see through the window, if that makes sense. So, yeah, for sure, for sure. Made the switch because of the stream. Okay, so the stream is working. Voodoo. No, seriously, though. We just want to try to get you guys the best information possible. I've had other reps and suppliers out there telling me that I need to toot my own horn more. I've never been really big on going out and telling everybody how great I was or how, I don't know. I got this, where'd it go? I got this cup and a banner and a couple other things that says this at the Tinner battles. And I love this because this has been my mantra my whole life, hustle in silence and let my success make the noise. You guys probably wouldn't know that I was a salary window tinner in 2011 working week to week. And I lost my job and had no idea how I was going to make my house payment. But I hustled in silence and I live a pretty comfortable life now. And it's kind of cool. And that's hustle till your haters want a job. I like that. But what if you don't have any haters? I'm sure I got haters. They just ain't bold enough to say anything out loud. Um, I've had people apologize to me, which this is, I don't know if it's humbling or just heartwarming, but I've had people apologize because they honestly thought that I was full of shit until they got to know me and realized that what comes out of my mouth is truth as far as the way that I think and the way that I act. It's like one thing people don't really understand at all is how you can believe that there's no such thing as competition. And I used to struggle with that. I worked for a guy that kind of taught it to me, but I've developed and grew that in my mind on a much bigger scale. Like Jeff, is a good example over at Tent Hozilla. I don't know, whatever. Tent Hozilla. Prime example, I mean, and he thinks like me. He realizes that his workload is based on his ambition level and what he does to create his own customer base. And you'll never see, if I'm in a conversation on a post with somebody about a tint keg, you'll never see Jeff comment on that post. And the same thing if Jeff is talking to a customer and, because Jeff gets up earlier than I do. And if he gets up and he sees a post, somebody asking about something about a spray keg, and Jeff jumps on it, you won't see me comment on it. It just, because we don't need to fight over customers. In 5 years, I've sold right around 5,000 tint kegs. I don't see a reason to worry about what LEU is doing with Tint Buster. In fact, I helped him out and helped him source the parts and the things that he needed to make it the best fucking electric sprayer on the market. And then I bought a bunch of them to put on my shelves to sell. because why not? Let's and everybody in the industry I give a boost to. I actually one of my customers is a guy that opened a shop less than a quarter mile on the same street, right across the street from, well, I keep calling it my tent shop, but it's Mary's tent shop now. Mary, Brittany, and Charles, they run it. But I sell them flat glass film. I sell them tools, and I don't know if he asks questions. I give him input and try to help him out, and it's just like I don't believe that there's competition, and the reason I don't believe that is because look at the number of people out there that still aren't using services that we offer. Our job isn't to try to steal the ones that want it from somebody else. Our job is to educate the ones that don't know that they need it. What's the tint shop's name? I don't know. Is it appropriate for me to say the tint shop's name? I mean, I guess I can. It's Michigan Tinning. Yeah, that sounds right. And then right down the street, the same distance in the other direction, a detail shop moved in, and they realized that their customers want tint, and I don't know if he decided to learn how to tint or what. Oh, my tint shop's name? Oh, that's probably more appropriate. Oh, we got a UPS guy. That's probably more appropriate, but my tint shop's name is Tint Squad. I'm gonna put you guys on the security cameras because I got a UPS guy here, so I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Holy shit. Y'all stuck around. I like it. There I am. And I don't have to put the headset back on. Although my hair's all fucked up now. I mean, messed up. Messed up. Trying to keep it clean. What was we talking about? Let's see. 2 years after I started Dark Side, the owner of the shop I left, who badmouthed me, called and asked me to come tint for him again. He had a detail shop local to me, and I felt good to say no. Okay. Yeah, that's good stuff. Tint shop's name. My tint shop. Yeah, that's Tint Squad. Jeremy, you know the people at Tint Squad? Or you know the people at Michigan Tints? Oh, you just won an account they had. Cool, cool. Yeah, it is cold. What is happening? Who's coming to full age in Christ? Ask anybody. I suck at names until I get them, and then I got to repeat them or I'll forget them. Dark Sides. Completing the quote for that house. That's exciting. Anyone else here? Yeah, we have 12 people here. 10 of them are in YouTube and 2 of them are with you. And that's why we have the chat on the screen, because Danny. It's Danny. I don't know. I could stalk you. I can find out. I just have to find my stream. In chat. Got it. Okay, that's cool. Go ahead. Mute that. I probably won't be able to find you, but I'm going to try. Found you. Oh, that's a tiny little picture. Let's try this one. Oh, you ain't gonna let me look at this picture in a new, oh, well, fine. Whatever. Oh, duh, I can look at your video. Well, you got a lot of videos, Danny. Cool beans. Oh, I see. Yeah, especially if you're watching on like your phone, you know, it's small. It's a lot of crap to push on the screen. But yeah, we try to, the stream seems to go a little smoother on YouTube. So I'm gonna say that YouTube's probably the best place to watch, but for sure. I was making some shirts. Been busy for a year or more. Yeah, my YouTube channel is all just cluttered with with Tool Talk Tuesdays, and I try to put effort into the thumbnails, but I don't do a very good job of it. And then of course all the titles are Tool Talk Tuesday. I try to put something in parentheses so it kind of differentiates them, but I guess I'm not going for views. I'm going more for the live moment, and the people remembering that I'm going to be on, so they check me out. And sometimes people actually will jump in and watch when, like the rebroadcast. I feel bad for them because they got to deal with all my pauses and ums and stuff. And I mean, it is what it is. Yep. So this year, the big changes are going to be, you're probably going to see a lot more of me. I actually kind of got a mentor that works for somebody else, but he's like, look, there's only a couple of things you're missing, but you got so many things that we don't have, and he kind of broke it down for me, and it's going to require a little more doing on my part, which means that I got to beef up the staff here because I need to get out of the warehouse a little bit and go make some visitings and rub elbows. I'm not a supplier that has a big budget for all these people to represent me, but as it was told to me, I should go out and represent myself because I'm the guy that all those other companies would hire because I would make them look good. So I should go out there and make me look good. I'm like, huh. I don't know if I worded that right, but it made sense to me. 100%. What I don't understand is why this thing won't just give us, oh, look at that, Cash, you made it. Oh, you're not late. I'm not off air. I mean, I could be. I was thinking about cutting it short. In fact, I was thinking that 2-hour broadcasts probably are a little excessive. But on the other hand, 2-hour broadcast just opens up the window more. There's some people that can join in at 4, but maybe need to dip out early. And there's other people that still got a day to finish up. So the fact that I'm here until 6 is good. I don't know. Just don't know. Yeah, I got to get out there and do the face to faces. In fact, maybe I'll put a form on the website because I don't even know where to start and where to go. I just put a form on the website and tell people, hey, you want me to stop by your shop? Fill out the form. I'll make a trip. But I got to start small because I'm no Dean Mitchell. I can't just jump in a plane and fly and grab a Marriott every time I turn around. I'm funding this escapade. Keep in mind, we started this whole adventure from unemployed and broke, so we're still not to the point where we have big, fluff expenses where we can afford to lose money into marketing. And I understand that they say that it'll pay for itself, but you ever been faced with a fear-based decision or a decision that you're struggling with fear on it a little bit, and you feel like you just like to see a little proof of that. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So that is my struggle. And I usually don't succumb to fear when making decisions, but I see how far we've come in business, and it's just I don't want to make any mistakes and lose any of that. But God, I should have just know that all the decisions I made up until this point have got me to where we're at. So kind of makes sense. Making a list and do a trip, maybe 2 week or 30-day trip, and hit as many shops as possible. You understand, a 2 week or 30-day trip freaks me out. I got a little more brushing up to do with Alex, or I got to figure out how to conference with him, I think, while I'm gone, if I'm going to be there long. Um, we were gone a full week for Tinner Battles, and when we got back, the shelves were empty, and it was like, oh my God. And we still, we made a couple of big orders and thought, okay, we're good, but you just miss things along the way. I had 35 red dots 2 weeks ago, and I don't know. My mind told me that that's fine, so I didn't order any more red dots. I discovered this morning I had one, but it was already spoken for. So, I mean, I didn't have any red dots. So we're out of red dots right now because I just kind of missed that. And it's crazy. So, no, we definitely don't make good decisions out of fear. What I've been taught over the last, 14 years is that I need to trust the process and understand that I'm not supposed to know the roadmap. I'm just got to make the right decisions, even if they're hard to make. So maybe the fear's creeping in, and I ought to look at that a little bit closer, because I got to where I am today making decisions based on not fear, even if they were scary decisions. And honestly, like the squeaky monkey, who would have thought you give somebody a product, you give an industry a product that, you had to put elbow grease into it, but it just worked. And you'd take so much backlash from them because it was elbow grease. It wasn't magic cream that you could rub on and wipe off. And so, that was a $30,000 investment, of which I have not recouped my money, and I'm just over it. It's not a hit. It's a great product, but I'm happy having a lifetime supply of it for myself. And if anybody wants it that knows that I ever made it, because once it's gone, I don't know. I might run one more batch, but I'm just exhausted from the people that won't read the instructions or just don't understand. It's just not simple enough for people. So, but that didn't cost me everything. I mean, it costed me everything at the time when I did it, but I say that because you can hit some Jeep spots on the bucket list. Hint, hint. Um, no, if I go out, well, maybe, but if I was going to do that, then I got to take Mary, and we have to figure out how to make that work. But I don't know. I will give that some thought. But honestly, I think if I go out for business, I go out for business. And if I go out for Jeeping, I go out for Jeeping. It just is the way it is. Wink, wink. But one thing that I learned is every bad decision I ever made, God carried me through it. So when I make decisions out of fear, I don't allow God to do what God does because I'm not making the decisions that I was probably supposed to make, if that makes sense. So it's time to make decisions differently. Ramp up the ambition and do this. Set an example for people. Let's take me to the next level. Yes, Sean, we do all make bad decisions. I've made so many bad decisions, but when they were faith-based decisions, they all worked out, whether they were a win or if they were a bust, they worked out. The bust, obviously, we didn't do that anymore. The wins, obviously, we did. But the fear-based decisions, that usually keeps us from exposing our true potential to ourselves. Kind of like the biggest fear-based decision I see a lot of tinners make is they don't hire somebody to answer the phone because they're afraid that they're just barely getting by right now, and it's just a lot, and they just can't afford to pay somebody to sit up there and play on their phone and wait for the phone to ring, when the reality is that amount of time that they spend checking in a customer, checking out a customer, answering a phone, answering questions on the phone, scheduling a customer, it's a lot. And what most tuners don't realize, because it doesn't make sense right out of the gate, is that the person that answers the phone and basically runs the front end of your business is probably the most valuable person you have. From there, then you can start adding helpers and other tinners, and you can grow your business. I did that without fear. We grew to we had, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us running around Tinton doing about $1 million in cars a year. It was pretty cool. These days I learned that the money's really in the flat glass, but we wasn't into the flat glass. We were into selling wholesale tint. So actually, in reality, what tinners are finding is they could nearly tin a car a day. Maybe 2, if you factor in all the things around. One thing that I learned is when I'm running a shop by myself, and I did that for years, and I'm the one answering the phones and taking care of the customers, and the customers want to talk about it and stuff. And a lot of times, the customer wants to talk and go look at their car before they pay, and just a bunch of things that are time consuming. I would do 3, maybe 4 completes in a day. When I had a person answering the phone and taking care of the customers and all that other stuff, and they were sufficient to do it, I was able to do 8 or 9 cars a day. And then it was just a matter of figuring out how to schedule those cars so every customer was happy upon delivery, rather than having to wait when they come to pick it up or not getting it in the time. And your front counter person can learn from your abilities, and that's something you grow into. You find your sweet spot, but before you know it, that person is making you, if you're doing, let's say back then for me, when I got a counter person and it was just me tinning, I was at $200 a car. So 8 cars in a day, I was at $1,600 a day. By myself, I was maxing out at 4 cars a day. That's $800 a day. So that person that I had to pay $100 to $150 a day to was actually grossing me another $800. So it really did make sense to hire that person and have them answering the phones. And it's a dance. It's not like you're going to hire somebody and next week they're going to make you an extra $800 a day. That's going to be something they have to learn your abilities. They got to learn your tendencies and natures. Some tinners, when you push them a little bit, they get slower because their frustration takes over and they can't focus. Other tinners, they have that challenge accepted mentality. I have a challenge accepted mentality. When you put cars in front of me and you just stack them up and it doesn't seem like it's possible, I find a way to make it possible. And then you got to find, they have to find the breaking point in you because they don't want to break you daily, because if you get burnt out, then so it's a little dance until you guys find the sweet spot. My sweet spot was about 8 cars a day, and I could bust ass all day, smoke as many cigarettes as I needed to. I had time for lunch. 9 cars a day. I skipped the lunch. I probably didn't smoke as much as I wanted to. The good news is, if I only hand cut, would I have to get a plotter to reach that amount per day? No, no, you don't. One thing that I learned over the years, and I actually had somebody that I trained to teach me how to do a car an hour or less. And there, in our process, we have so many redundancies, it's ridiculous. And we don't know it until we know it. And he was taught, after he left the shop that I trained him in, he went and worked for somebody else, and that guy taught him that you don't razor blade windows. Well, why don't you? I mean, we've always razor bladed windows. He said, do you razor blade your dishes? And you eat off of those. Well, no, it's not the same. Well, how's it not the same? So basically, it boils down to, if you can feel what's stuck on the glass, then you need to know what needs a little extra attention. But if you're a window tinner and your hands are like this and you don't have calluses and you've got nice, tender, soft, you can feel stuff, you can spray the window down and rub your hand on it. I don't even use a scrubby pad. I just spray the window, I rub my hand on it. I feel things if it's stuck on the glass, and I focus a little more on that. Most of the time, I don't have to put a razor blade on it. I use a razor blade to take off stickers. And just that alone will save you a minute to 2 minutes a window. And I'm talking side windows. I don't scrape windshields. Windshields take forever to scrape. So there's that. Plus, if you scrape a window and you get unlucky, a windshield or window, you might have some scrape lines in it if you were just. So definitely there's things, I used to also bring a car in and clean the windows inside and out before I started cutting patterns. So if you're cleaning the windows inside and out before you start cutting patterns, now if you're cutting patterns on the car, it's definitely, or if you're putting the film on the car, it's definitely good to wipe the outside of the car down, because you don't want that contaminants to transfer onto the film, because it just adds to the potential of stuff. So that part I couldn't remove, but I could remove cleaning the window on the inside before. And why did I remove cleaning, or yeah, why did I stop cleaning the window on the inside? Well, I stopped cleaning windows on the inside before I cut my patterns, because it didn't matter how clean I got the windows on the inside before I cut my patterns. I still had to clean them before I laid them. I roll the window up and down, and it goes back up and down and into the seals, and those areas need to be cleaned. So I stopped doing that. And so now I'm not scrubbing and I'm not scraping. I still have to wipe the top edge of the window off. And I tend to do that twice still. I do it when I clean the outside of the window. Unless I'm in a hurry, then I clean the outside of the window with the window up, and that's good enough for me. But I'm pretty good at laying patterns and not bringing that debris in. Would you approach it the same with a car that has nicotine buildup? Yes, absolutely. You can feel the buildup on the window too. When you spray it, a lot of that's just going to wipe right off. You'll notice if it's really built up, you'll notice it's yellow. And when you squeegee it, if you watch your squeegee trail from where you start and watch behind your squeegee, you'll see if you left anything behind because it'll leave like a almost like a blur or a residue. You'll see it. But believe it or not, soapy water, whether you're using baby shampoo or dish soap, I'm a dish soap guy myself. I use All Type now, which I guess is more like baby shampoo. I don't know, but it seems to just cut it just fine. And if it doesn't seem like it's cutting it, you'll know. You'll learn where you need to, where you don't need to. But I've never had a problem with that. And that wasn't something that I figured out. That was something that somebody I trained taught me, is that I could just eliminate these things. Because he came in to visit one day. He was off and he came into the shop that I was at and we got to talking and he was kind of snickering at me and he's like, "How long does it take you to do a car?" And I'm like, 2 hours. And he's like, "Why does it take you so long?" And I'm like, "Because I want to do a good job." And he's like, "What if I told you you could do a good job in an hour?" I'm like, "No, no, I am not going to put out that kind of work." He's like, "Do I need to show you?" And he showed me and he tinted a 4-door sedan in just shy of an hour and it passed, like excellent passed. And that's what sparked that conversation. And that's why I was so willing to listen to him because I got to see it firsthand. So I suppose, yeah, that's probably a good reason why me going around to tint shops would be a good thing because I could sit here on a live stream and tell you all kinds of things, but maybe it'll be a little easier to believe if you see it for yourself and you actually get to inspect a window because like me, I didn't believe that you could tint a car in under an hour, and I'm talking 4 doors, quarters, back window, shrink, cut, clean up, pull out, everything. And when I saw it and I approved of the tint job, then I had to be all ears because all of a sudden my belief system was crushed. My belief system was based on a couple of things. One, the chatter out here in the background of other people that may or may not have had experience with it telling me it couldn't be done. But then my imagination also not being able to understand how it could be done, so, but a lot of the times the things that we can't do or we don't believe is possible, I should say, a lot of times the things that we don't believe is possible is because we can't ourselves do them yet. But I do remember a time before he taught me that. My boss had somebody in the back shop and he was like, "Jesus Christ, you're fast. How long does it take you to tint a set of doors?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I ain't never timed myself." And my boss is like, "Well, I'll time you. Let's pull this next one in." And it was a 1990 whatever Ford Ranger and cut, clean, lay, wipe down 7 minutes, 2 doors. So yeah, if you think about it, it is totally doable. If you can do 14 minutes for 2 sets of doors and then however long the back window takes you, an hour is way more than enough time. And oh, by the way, in that hour or less of a car that I tint, I smoke during the car and I don't smoke while I'm working on the car. That's very bad for business. I don't try to attract that customer. I try to attract the customers that want to pay more. And so that means I go outside and smoke and then I come back and tint. Usually I only smoke one cigarette a car. And that one cigarette's good for about 5 to 7 minutes. So I did learn that at a nice even keel, it takes me about 32 minutes to lay all the patterns for a car. And that's just me. And the reason I know that is because I would cut and shrink my doors, cut and shrink the back glass, then I go smoke. Or, yeah, then I go smoke. And then, 32 minutes it would take me to get it all on the vehicle. So, yeah, it's super doable. It just, I don't know. I've been told a lot of times we just overthink it. And I know I always overthought it because I wanted it to be perfect. And will you ever make a video series of how you can tint a car in an hour? So one of the problems is I don't really have a lot of cars available to me. I'm in a warehouse, I know a lot of these guys are slinging tools out of the back of their shop and trying to make you think that they're doing $1 million a year in business as a supplier, but it's just not the reality. I slang tools out of my back of my shop for a while, and then I did have vehicles available to me. But as soon as we got up to about $500,000 a year, the space I had available to me just wasn't enough, and I had to move out. And the downfall to that is I don't have the vehicles available. Yeah, Matt makes one of the points about over cleaning the glass for tinting also. I mean, you can remember Super Troopers when they got pulled over, or they didn't get pulled over, they were already stopped or whatever, and the cop pulls up and he says, pull over, and he's like, I can't pull over, I'm already pulled over, I can't pull over anymore. And it's kind of like cleaning the windows. It's clean is clean, and you'll have to clean it again if you clean it in the wrong order. If cleaning the windows is one of the first things you do, it's going to be dirty by the time you're ready to lay it. So you have to clean it again. So you clean the window before you lay the window, period. And if that's the only time you clean the window, you're going to save a lot of time. And the edges, well, and I don't have a roll of it, but that tape that Matt's got, that shit's a lifesaver. Now, I personally don't tape edges, but I never had a tape that was just great. This tape is great. It sticks really well. It tears with your fingers. It conforms to the edge and stays out of your way. And now you don't even have to worry about the dirty edges so much. You can tape the window and wipe your towel down inside of it and you're good to go. And yeah, definitely clean the top edge before you clean what goes down in the seal. A lot of people, yeah, that's the process. You see them, they'll spray the window, they'll scrape the window real good, they'll squeegee it off, spray it again, sometimes take out a scrubby and scrub the window and then squeegee it again. Then they take out their rag and they wipe the top edge, and then they have to spray the window and squeegee again. Now you've cleaned and squeegeed this window 3 times in just that one sitting. Now, if you also clean and squeegee the window when you first pull the car in, I mean, think about it. And that's the type of redundancies that we talk about when we just overdo something, because you got to do it just enough to be good. And well, think about tin-offs. I don't know how many of you guys have been to tin-offs and how many haven't, but if 3 other guys have tinted this door before it's your turn to tint this door, you ever notice every round of tinners that comes in cleans the shit out of that door? And it doesn't seem to matter if you're in the first round or the last round or heat or whatever to tint that particular door, you don't have a better advantage because your problems don't come from the cleaning. Trust me. Every one of the, I mean, I can't say everyone because I've had some helpers that just didn't understand what clean looked like. But most of you guys understand what clean looks like, and you get it clean the first time. So those other times that you do it, you're just spending time hoping that if you get it cleaner, you'll get a better job. But your contaminations and problems in your tint job come from your struggle areas while you're putting the film onto the glass and getting it into position. A lot of people struggle in certain areas, and that's where you'll notice that your buildup of contamination is. Unless, of course, you just flat touch something with that part of the tint. But most of the time, it's a vacuum thing where you're pinching and you're struggling trying to get that film into place, and it'll draw out something from the edge into your film. And do I usually clay bar the top edge? No, I don't. I just wipe it real good with a microfiber towel. And but yeah, basically your struggles will vacuum what's left in the edges out. So that's what you want to focus your time on, is figuring out where the struggle happens and how to get around that struggle. You know, years before bottom loading become popular, one thing that I had left that I had to figure out is, why am I getting these little fold lines in the side that I have to heat up and push out with a chiseler from two staging? And I figured that out too. And I would say well over 90% of my doors don't have fold lines in them, and I two stage still. And it's just figuring out how that, you know, most people, and you see it in the post, most people believe that that is just a fact of life, that you're going to have fold lines if you two stage. It's not true. You can learn your way around that crease and not have it. But then the two staging or the bottom loading became popular. And I personally, my argument is, I like the speed and efficiency of it. And if I have to stop to pull back or even remove door panels and pull seals apart and stuff, when I already know how to get a good job without taking any of that stuff apart, then why would I? So I still don't bottom load. I've tried it a couple of times, scratch my head. I can see where it's definitely, if you had a helper and he was working in front of you, pulling these things apart so it wasn't slowing you down, definitely a better install option because it's easier. You know, just like training wheels makes it easier to ride a two-wheeler because you don't have to figure out how to not fall over. Although training wheels really dumbs it down a lot because there's a lot more involved in not getting bad spots in your tent, in your door, than the bicycle. You know, as soon as you learn that momentum keeps you upright, you no longer need training wheels. But there's a little more to tinting than momentum. But yeah, that's my take on that. And so what's the hack to not get fold lines? You know, that's something I've never figured out how to put into words. I can show somebody. But basically, a lot of people on the bottom, you'll fold up the bottom and then slide them into the seals. That's exactly how Matt does it. And Matt gets fold lines. Sometimes he doesn't. Now, I know one guy that does that, and the fold lines doesn't come from when you put it into place on the top side. It's when you try to pull it back out to get them back in. And I knew a guy, he would take, and I don't have, you know, I used to have tools here. He uses an Easy Reach, but I got a pink Tri-Edge X. But so he would fold it up on the side so that, like, if this is the bottom of the window, he'd fold this part up and then tuck it in. And then he would take this, and on that edge of the window, he'd stuff this above that fold, and then he just whoosh, swipe that all the way to the bottom, and that film would just fold right in, and he wouldn't have a crease. And you would think that the edge of the film would be filthy, but it wasn't. I tried that a couple of times. I couldn't get the hang of it. It was awkward, but he invented it, so that's his thing. His name's Jake Gillum. And then the way I do it is I put the top this much of the film into the edge just so I can tack it. I'm only worried about that top little bit, and the rest of it I leave, like, so if you're on the outside and I'm on the inside, I'll put the film like this, but I'll leave it curved like that, so it just kind of dangles there. And then this very top edge is the only thing that I set. Then I roll it up, and this is all loose. There's no pinch points in here. So then I'll use the shank, but I'll take and I'll peel the seal back, and I'll put that corner in, and then I'll slide the seal down and use my finger to just tuck the film in. And on the front edge, I can just fold it in, and the front edge usually just falls right in. And then I squeegee practically the entire window, and I have no fold lines, and I have a nice clean job. So that's, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but that's how I do it. That would be the hack. And I still get them here and there too, depending on the vehicle. Like an old Ford Taurus. I'm not talking about the latest one that they discontinued, but the one before that. And back further and further with the round bubbly window, and then back window, and then the square back windows even before that. I had a 95 Ford Taurus, and you had about that far to tuck on the front and back, and it was all felt. And that's kind of the vehicles that I started learning it on. And those you'll tend to have a little pinch point. But those you also tend to have struggles even bottom loading them because it's so deep. There's too much pattern to fit in the amount of space you got to fit it in. So that's a special kind of stupid car. Crown Vics I do just fine. It's funny is at the first tinner battles, I got to tin a door on Tallman's car, and he did mention that it's like probably the best door on the car. But somebody pulled the gasket out, and then somebody else laughed at me because I was two-stage in a car that already had the gasket removed. And it's like, that's the way I tint. I didn't remove the gasket. It was nice to not have it there, but that's just because those Crown Vics, the inside gasket does tend to go up farther on the window than the outside gasket. So it's a little more to tuck. What do I use to work out the creases? Well, honestly, this little guy right here, I can't even get a good shot on it. But you just keep your nail in decent enough condition. And the back edge of that nail. Now, back in my day, we used to use popsicle sticks. If you get a chance with a popsicle stick, try it. You'll be amazed. But your back of your thumbnail has about the same consistency. I'll use this edge and I use a pink tri-edge. That's my go-to corner tool. But I'll use this edge. Sometimes I'll use a gator blade, but gator blade just isn't personally my thing. Gator blade's more for scraping, and chiseler. I like the white chiselers. I think they've got a similar consistency to this right here, this edge on this card. So I like that just for a touch up. But a lot of times I'll keep the chiseler in my pocket, not in my apron. Because when you pull a car out, you should also, after you get out of the car outside, I don't usually wear my apron outside, but you should do a walk around. And sometimes it's nice to have a chiseler in your pocket just in case you miss something inside. And is what too aggressive? My thumbnail or the gator blade? I think the gator blade. I like something just with a little bit of a curve on it. So the gator blade's got a lot of flat to it. And so I can't get a good pinpoint on, a lot of times my touch up is a speck of something or even a crease. I would like to stay focused on the crease itself rather than the film around the crease. And a gator blade focuses on the entire strip that the edge of the gator blade is pushing on. So, and most of the creases you get when you do get a little flip line, and once you've kind of mastered not getting flip lines, the flip line is going to be really minor. And most of the time, just a little corner edge of this, and you just push that corner just right into the edge and it stays stuck, no heat or nothing. So, especially with Orbit film. Orbit film is a great touch up film for, the adhesive is so aggressive most of the time you don't even have to put heat to it. You can just chisel out whatever. And I'm sure you guys have noticed that when you put heat to something and chisel it out, you tend to distort the adhesive in that area. And in the wrong area, that becomes eye catching for the owner of the vehicle. If you can touch something up cold, you don't distort the adhesive, which that gives you a more hidden touch up. So there's that. Oh, guys, guess what? It's 8:02. Or 6:02. It's not 8:02 for anybody. They would drown. But it is 6:02. I wish we could start out the streams with these kind of conversations because this is what I like, and this is what drives me back here is being able to answer questions like this, things that you guys ain't quite figured out. And a lot of the things now, Matt was taught by somebody that was taught by somebody that I taught. In fact, if that made any sense, the somebody that I taught is the same somebody. Stop it, Mary. Is the same somebody that taught me that I could tin a car in an hour. So he was like really good, and he taught my boss, which is my former boss, but he taught him his son, and then his son was about Matt's age, so they just put them two together, and then Matt learned from him. So Matt's base education came from me, and then he's been doing this how many years now? Probably 15, 16, 17, I don't know. He's been doing it forever now, so he's obviously honed his skills into his own style. So if you watch me and Matt tint something side by side, you're going to see some obvious differences, but you'll see the roots are the same. So a lot of what I told you here, not the side crease stuff, because Matt totally does his sides different than I do. But what's up, Martin? But aside from that, you'll notice that Matt does a lot of things the same way I do. Yeah, I don't remember. I got to meet Matt when he was about waist high to me. He was just a little one. I was working for his dad. Actually, I was working for his dad's partner, but his dad was there all the time, and they were partners in a chain of stores. So his dad's partner didn't own any of the store that I worked in, but the company's offices were upstairs, so his dad was always there. And so Matt would come in here and there with him, and he was just a little kid. But now he's a more bigger kid. Yeah, Matt likes to use the tri-edge for the size. Sometimes you'll see him. I'm trying to get him to. This squeegee blade corner tool. I love the way that it feels, and it's a little bit grabby. On no, the show should not change from 5 to 7. Maybe it should, because it does seem like here at the end we're gaining traction, but I don't even know. But this, if you try to run it on a dry window, it's a little grabby. Where the blue, the yellow, or Matt's green, or Tintwist purple, they slide well when the window's dry. But this edge seems a lot more stable. It's still soft like the other material as far as it's not going to destroy your film, and it doesn't scratch like an Easy Reach. And if you have just a little moisture on the window, it's a dream. So there's that. Mary's trying to push me into just like, but yeah, it's 6:06. Guys, try to catch me earlier next time, maybe, or maybe she's onto something. Oh, she says she's still at work and we have a dog. Oh, yeah, she needs me to go let the dog out because the dog well behaved. She waits, but boy, when we come home, she needs to pee like now. So, all right, I will do that. And you guys, like usual, you're great. And I'll be back next Tuesday. And next Tuesday, I'm going to try to be a little more prepared. Hopefully, we'll have the computer cut up and running on the system, and we'll have hopefully most of the things in place. But for now, and until then,